Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing Married at First Sight season 10 episode 26. I know I'm behind. I know, I'm sorry. It's just yesterday was a lot. The whole Love Island, I was on live for a cumulative of 4 hours. So bear with me, okay? Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. Also, for some extra support, you could follow me on my other platforms as well. I would really appreciate it. On to this episode. So some people feel like the wife swap is a little gimmicky. I mean, yes, that part is true. But I remember watching the show Wife Swap and remembering how much information people would learn just being in a different marriage and realizing, the things that I take for granted from my wife or my husband are things that I should start appreciating. Or maybe I'm the drama in my relationship, you know? So I'm glad they've implemented this. I think they definitely were trying something with Harrison and Melinda, trying to agitate them, but it actually didn't end up the way that they thought. It was Leighton, shock to me, who was not dealing with the situation well.
He's struggling to see the value in this, so for him everything is quite logical. He needs to know that he's getting return on investment.
So you're not going to embrace the challenge?
Well, I'm happy to embrace the challenge, but it's a principle thing, mate. And you're sitting here with Harrison, the person you said is your most hated person.
Yeah.
And you're not supporting me, your partner.
Oh, sake.
I mean, okay. If they were legally married, I think I would understand his position, but because they aren't, and I think someone in this thing said that they've been in this process for about 3 months now. That's hectic. If it really has been that long, then maybe I do understand where Leighton's coming from. You've built a bond with this person and you kind of feel like I'm disrespecting you by, being in a marital space with somebody else. So I guess I get it. But then I was like, obviously this is part of the experiment. Obviously it's supposed to expand your perspective on how things are going in your marriage. So him being very adamant against it, now that I've talked it out, I understand it a little bit more. But as I was watching, I was just like, you're really making this a thing when it doesn't have to be a thing, especially when it's Melinda who's partnered up with Harrison and even she's okay with it. And then for him to turn around and say, oh, well, now I'm questioning you because why are you excited to... Leighton, don't make issues where there aren't any. Lyndall and Ollie are partnered up during the wife swap, and she... did she ask or were they given a task? I don't quite remember. But basically, Cameron and Lyndall tend to bring up their issues on the couch that they haven't brought up before, which is what Ollie points out.
My theory was that maybe you guys don't want to talk about that stuff because it's just a bit dicey.
I definitely feel like there have been weeks in here where we've curbed those hard conversations and waited to have them on the couch because then it's mediated.
I'd say I have to agree. I think that there are some underlying things that they're dealing with but don't want to address because they don't want to ruin what they have going on. I mean, they came into the process being the front runners for me, as you know. So going from being the front runners to having all these little issues that actually could end the relationship, you likely don't want to address it just to elongate your time with the person. But I'm like, yeah, clearly they're going to talk about distance in the next episode, which is going to be an issue. Her health condition, I don't know if they've really fleshed that out, because even if you live far from where I live, do you live far from a hospital just in case, things like that. They definitely have a difference in levels of intimacy, what is appropriate, inappropriate, how to resolve conflict and stuff like that. And I remember when he made a dig about her being insecure based on what his mom said, I'm like, yeah, the way you brought that up was to hurt Lyndall in that moment. And then she came back basically saying she can trust her mom because her mom is a level-headed person, insinuating that his mom isn't. And I'm like, yeah, the backbiting, there's something under the surface that we need to address before y'all implode. So now the couples are given a task to write down the burning questions regarding their relationship. And Melinda, answering Harrison's questions, she did not hold back.
Do you think I have left my single life behind?
That was happening so close to this experiment. A lot of partying, a lot of sex, all of that, right?
Do you think my relationship is fake and why?
Overnight, you were like gold.
It's really tough to hear that.
Harrison absolutely has not dropped his single lifestyle, and the relationship is fake. It's so fake. It is just so fake. There's no way Harrison's little, oh, I just can't believe. And there's no way any of that is real. Any of that. And I'm just glad that they're calling it out instead of us just pretending like Harrison really is this emotionally invested in his marriage with Bronte. He's not. He is absolutely not. He does, however, believe that Leighton's demeanor has diminished while being with Melinda. And I actually think it's the opposite. Maybe he's not as like jovial and out there as he was before. And honestly, if we're talking about the Stags party, it was the Stags, right? Stags and Hens, I think so. That's where Harrison is basing his perspective on. And I'm like, you met one night at the beginning of the process, drinks were flowing, excitement was in the air. Like, of course, people are going to come off a lot more exuberant than they tend to be. But I feel like with how anal retentive it seemed like Leighton was at the beginning, I feel like Melinda has softened him a little bit. We see that caring, supportive side of him, whereas in the beginning it seemed like he was distant emotionally. He was into Melinda, but wasn't like into Melinda. But did Melinda even give him a chance to be into her? I don't think she did. Yeah, I don't think she did. I just feel like Leighton's been softened up a little bit, and he could be softened up a little bit more, as we've heard from the experts. Tawny and Rupert are partnered together, and they have nothing but compliments to share about each other's marriage.
Do you think Evelyn and I are compatible?
100%. I think Evelyn's definitely open to a relationship with you. Do you think Ollie and I are too good to be true?
No, I don't think that. I absolutely do not think that's true.
You know, I don't know if I can say that Rupert and Evelyn are compatible. I don't know that I can say that. I think that they resolve conflict in similar ways. I think that they're very accommodating to each other's needs and wants. And Rupert clearly does take direction very well. Even in this episode, he was informed that he could be a little bit more romantic. So he sent roses over to Evelyn, even though she's, you know, with another husband. But in terms of like them being compatible and me seeing it in the long run, I just don't. I think Rupert has those quirks that will start to wane on Evelyn after a while. It seems like they have died down, but at the core, that's who Rupert is, you know? So I don't think those will completely go away. I would have loved to see like Evelyn with a... Oh, no. Actually, no, I take that back. I was going to say Evelyn with Duncan, but I think I'm just going off of aesthetics, because when I go off of character and personality, no, I take it back. Speaking on Tawny and Ollie, I think they're the real deal. I absolutely think they are the real deal. It's unfortunate that they live far from each other, but I think if they are going to have like an honest crack at it, they have the potential to last the longest out of everybody here. Again, don't have the justification for compatibility and stuff like that, but it just looks so real to me. Leighton finally decides to engage into this wife swap experiment, and he shares with Bronte that the alliance between Harrison and Melinda blindsided him, and honestly, it blindsided all of us too.
I did feel a little bit attacked by Mel and Harrison together, surprisingly. I know. Am I right in questioning Mel's morals for how easily she was able to move in with Harrison?
She kind of gaslit you.
Do you think we're compatible?
The only thing is...
Yeah.
Now I know Miss Bronte herself, partnered with the gaslighter extraordinaire, isn't calling out other people's partners on gaslighting. I know that didn't happen. There's no way. I must have misheard the situation. It can't be true. So you can pinpoint your own husband's gaslighting at the beginning of the season, then all of a sudden have amnesia and don't remember that happened. And then now want to sit in front of Leighton, talking about, yeah, your wife, that is textbook gaslighting. Oh, you know what that looks like now? Oh, okay. Interesting. You failed to mention the part where Leighton said that it was the two of them going at him. So therefore, if Melinda was gaslighting, so was your husband. Anyways, Leighton and Melinda, I do agree with what Bronte said. They are a good couple. However, the fight for power is a big issue. And like, I have traditional values. I believe the man is the head of the household. That does not mean the woman doesn't have a say, but I'm more willing, at least I think I will be, more willing to follow the lead of the man in the marriage, right? But because they are both stand in leadership roles independently, so coming together, it's kind of hard to like, who's gonna take the lead when. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one, that one, because I don't see Melinda being the type to back down when she believes she's in the right. Same with Leighton. However, there is a desire to be together. So they're going to have to do some kind of balance and act to figure out, okay, you're well-versed in this aspect of things, so let me take your lead. You're more well-versed in this thing, so let me take your lead. Like they got to figure that out. Duncan, just the sweetest man. Duncan is partnered up with Evelyn. And he writes a letter. Everybody's writing a letter. And in his letter, he details that he wants to be a part of Alyssa's life. He wants to think about the future. But that's really hard for him when she doesn't want him to be a part of her life and doesn't want to talk about the future.
It hurts me when I'm shut out and unable to converse with you. We focus on little things and somehow they're turned into big issues. You will never understand what it's like to be a parent.
Like, Alyssa, he is a good man. Damn near too good. And you guys have been saying in the comments, maybe that is the holdup, but I'm like, I'm sorry. If he's giving you a reason that this is a facade, that this is literally too good to be true, then maybe. But I haven't seen any red flags to where I'm like, could he be putting up a front right now? Like, I don't see it at all. I don't see anything. So her insecurities are just her own, and she's projecting it onto a man that doesn't deserve it. Put it on a Harrison. Put it on a, I wanted to call him Mark. What was that man's name? Partnered up with Sandy? Dan. Put it on those kind of husband. Adam. You know what I mean? Like, they were making it seem like they were good men. And under the surface, not that deep, things were going awry. Duncan? He's not the one. Furthermore, I did not even think Duncan could become any sexier. Then you have Evelyn planning this baking-themed photo shoot to entice Alyssa because that is one of her passions in life. And I'm just like, he is a godsend, handcrafted by Jesus Christ. And I don't, like, I just, Alyssa, get it together, girl. When they reunite, this girl is out here talking about, you don't know what it's like to have a kid, and you don't know that he is my first priority, and you can't judge me for that, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you haven't even given this man an opportunity to prove you wrong. Like, have you seen him with children? Have you seen him with your child? Where are you getting this from?
Cute. Obviously, Duncan and I need to have a bit more of like an in-depth discussion about my child being a priority. I know you try to understand that dynamic, but you'll never fully understand.
I feel more rejected in this relationship than any relationship I've been in. I can't believe it, Brian.
Your child should absolutely be your first priority. Absolutely. You know what? I do have a controversial thought, but this is only like for couples who are married and have children together. I think your partner should be your first priority. And here's why. Should I even get into it? Maybe I shouldn't, child. Yeah, I don't know if I want to deal with the comments today. I'll just say very briefly. I think that the healthy marriage aids in the health of the children. So having the children come before the spouse can lead to resentment and all that kind of stuff. And you feel like you're losing your partner. Sometimes as women, we lose ourselves when we have kids and get married and stuff like that. And you want to feel like you're seen. You want to feel like you're understood. You want to feel like you have your partner in crime and that you guys can do this whole life thing together. Children are a part of that. Children are a part of the whole scope of life. You know what I mean? Anyways, when it comes to Alyssa, though, I just think if you were going to have such a chip on your shoulder about your child being the first priority and maybe your partner not understanding that, then you shouldn't be dating right now. Your focus should be solely on is it a son? Solely on your son until you feel like he is in a space where he can understand the whole dating thing, and you are in a space where you feel like you can take time away from him and he will be okay. He will not like be in distress saying, oh, I miss mommy, where's my mommy? Like he really needs you a lot. I think it's a son, and I think they're about like 6 or something like that. I don't remember, guys, but I think it's the child is fairly young. So yeah, maybe take some time to yourself. Go to therapy, really unpack those wounds that you are keeping open and picking at, it seems like. And yeah, just be with your kid. If it's gonna bother you this much, because I don't feel like Duncan has given her a reason to be this insecure about her being a mom. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, yeah, like I said, the videos are gonna be behind a little bit, but I will be doing every video. Sometimes you guys like when I bulk, sometimes you don't, so that's why I'm just gonna post each individual video late. I guess maybe I should just ask you now, if I do fall behind, do you guys like the bulking, or do you guys just want me to post late? If it's like a day or so. If I'm behind by like a week, well, that's a different topic, but let me know in the comments down below. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.